You must have heard about the recent news about a Titanic submarine that has gone missing. In this video, we will learn about several crucial aspects surrounding the incident. We will learn about the location where the disappearance occurred, what exactly happened, and how it happened. And finally, I will shed some light on the present situation. Join me as we unravel the mystery surrounding the missing Titanic submarine. First, let's have a look at this photo to see how the object appears, which resembles something like a submarine with people on board. It shows what the object looked like as it went deep into the ocean. If you see this, it looks like a submarine, but it is not a submarine. It is called a submersible. It is like a small vehicle that is designed to operate underwater. As you can see, this submersible is owned by an American company called OceanGate. It is a privately owned company based in Washington that provides services like ocean expeditions, tourism, research and exploration related activities. Before we proceed further, let me provide you with some technical details of this submersible. This submersible is 6.7 meter long, 2.8 meter wide and 2.5 meter high. It has a sitting capacity of 5 people. The maximum depth it can go is up to 4000 meter, which is 4 kilometers. The maximum speed it can reach is around 5.5 kilometers per hour. The submersible is equipped with a life support system that can sustain a crew of 5 members for at least 96 hours in deep water, with essential resources for survival. The entire weight of this submersible is said to be around 20,000 pounds, which is 9,072 kilograms. According to reports, the construction of this submersible involved a combination of materials including titanium and carbon fiber. This combination of materials makes it significantly lighter compared to those constructed solely with steel or titanium. Let me also describe the interior. In terms of size, this submersible, which is named Titan, is like a minivan, providing limited space for passengers. If you look at the interior images, you can see a cylindrical metal structure where passengers can be seated on a flat floor, leaning against curved walls. Although headroom is minimal and there are no chairs, overhead lighting is provided, but then due to less space, it restricts your movements and you cannot stand straight. This is the entire technical specification of this submersible. Now let me tell you the whole story. On Sunday, June 18th, this submersible went on an expedition with the purpose of exploring the site where the Titanic ship had sunk. Now from this information you can easily figure out that a group of individuals driven by a desire for exploration and discovery went on a journey to the site where the Titanic ship sank 111 years ago. Now let me show you the precise location of the current resting place of the Titanic ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The exact location of the Titanic shipwreck was discovered in 1985. Its final resting place is almost 600 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada, in the North Atlantic Ocean. As you are aware, the Titanic embarked on its journey from Southampton, with its destination set for New York City. However, on the night of April 14, 1912, at approximately 11:40 p.m., the Titanic collided with an iceberg. Subsequently, within the following 3 hours, the Titanic ship tragically sank. As you know, the Atlantic Ocean is quite deep. As soon as the Titanic collided with the iceberg, the ship gradually sank and now rests at an approximately depth of 12,500 feet, which is 3,810 meters in the Atlantic Ocean. So here is the exact location of the Titanic shipwreck, which is almost 600 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. On 18 June, the submersible went on an expedition to explore the wreckage of the sunken Titanic off the coast of Newfoundland. Now typically this type of expedition vehicle or submersible is deployed from a mothership, often an icebreaker, due to the presence of numerous floating icebergs in the area. The vessel lost communication with its mothership 2 hours later on Sunday 18th in the morning at around 9:45 am. And then immediately the mothership contacted the US Coast Guard and reported the incident. The US Coast Guard further reported the incident to the US and the Canadian Navy. The US Coast Guard is leading the investigation along with deep sea water experts from Canada, the UK and France, and they jointly started a search operation for the Titan submersible on Sunday 18 June. On 23rd June, the US Coast Guard officially declared that all 5 passengers who were on board were dead, although their bodies have not yet been recovered. Currently, as per the US Coast Guard, only the wreckage of the submersible has been located, which is resting approximately 1600 feet away from the Titanic shipwreck. That means it is not very far away from the Titanic shipwreck, somewhere around half a kilometer away. Although there are no pictures of the submersible sitting on the ocean floor, if you have studied different zones of ocean depth, The ocean is divided into 3 zones according to the distance sunlight travels in the ocean. You will realize that after 1000 meter or 3000 feet, sunlight does not penetrate at all. It is pitch dark, known as the midnight zone. Navigating at this depth is a challenging task. Due to perpetual darkness, it is easy to become disoriented. The United States Navy has located the wreckage using sonar imaging technology. The US Navy has also said they have detected an implosion, or you can say explosion, as soon as they got the missing information about the submersible from the US Coast Guard. Now the question is, how does an implosion take place? So this is where you have to understand that if you go deeper exceeding 800 feet, the amount of pressure you will experience underwater will reach approximately 80 times the pressure that you will feel at the surface. Now this immense water pressure poses a huge challenge for any human presence in deep sea environments. Even naval submarines do not operate at that depth. I believe at an average, the maximum depth a submarine can go is around 1000 meters or 3000 feet. Although there are exceptions, few submarines can go even deeper, but generally speaking, Navy submarines do not operate in the midnight zone. As previously mentioned, according to the specification provided by the company, the maximum depth that the Titan submersible is designed to reach is approximately 4000 meters, way more than any naval submarine. The purpose behind constructing and utilizing these submersibles is to enable individuals to sit inside and venture into the depths of the ocean for research and exploration purposes. In recent times, these submersibles are also being utilized for recreational purposes, as people are willing to pay for the opportunity to explore the ocean depths. A submarine implosion occurs when the vessel goes beyond its stipulated dive depth. The extreme pressure caused by the water becomes too much for the vessel's superstructure to handle, which in turn crushes the vessel. For a better idea, try crushing a soft drink or a soda can in your hand to understand what happens. And suppose if you want a more realistic approach, then what happens is that the weakest area, wherever that might be, that gets crushed first. Now the next question is, how can a submarine or a submersible go beyond its operating depth? It can be due to equipment failure, human mistake, or maybe there is some issue with the structure and design. Then what happens to the human body inside the submersible? Underwater pressure, which is much greater than the atmospheric pressure, poses a serious threat to the submerged vessels. The immense pressure exerted by the surrounding ocean water can cause the vessel to collapse. Consequently, the sudden and drastic change in external pressure will compress the air inside the submarine or submersible, resulting in significant rise in temperature. This increase in temperature could potentially lead to severe burns or thermal injuries to people inside. Additionally, once the cold water gets in, the human body organs including the nerves, tissues, lungs and sinuses contain air, and the immense pressure can cause these organs to collapse. Hypothermia is likely to happen because of cold water, and this will result in instant death, most likely painless. Since the explosion would be immediate and extremely powerful, death will be instant and most likely painless. Among the 5 people who died in this tragedy, one of them was the founder and CEO of the company. In other words, the person who owned the submersible was also on board and operating it. Unfortunately, no one survived. They all lost their lives in this accident. The lesson we learn from this incident is that, despite the tremendous drive in this modern era of making everything possible, if we carefully observe, the underlying motive behind it all is wealth accumulation, expanding comfort, and fulfilling material desire, which ultimately contributes to GDP. Although some may argue that these new methods and innovations also serve to educate society, which is true only to a certain extent. However, even in the guise of education, the ultimate goal remains wealth accumulation, expanding comfort, and fulfilling material desire, regardless of how it is packaged. And what we learn from this incident is that all the people who were on board were multimillionaires, wealthy individuals. For $250,000, OceanGate Company offers passengers the opportunity to get an up-close glimpse of the Titanic wreck. If you see, an ordinary person cannot afford to indulge in all these luxuries. So somewhere we understand that in this modern race, if we carefully observe the drive to make everything possible, the sole purpose behind that is wealth accumulation. The service provider, that is OceanGate, is earning a huge sum of money, and the customers are also filthy rich, and they are fulfilling their fantasies. Now, earning wealth is not a bad thing. Moreover, the fate of those who become millionaires or billionaires is very much connected to their individual deeds. And then it is also a fact that a person not only performs virtuous deeds, but also commits sins. Just as virtuous actions yield good results, sins also have consequences. Looking at such a tragic death, with all due respect, one can infer that there was a certain fate involved, where it was predetermined that the end of these 5 individuals' physical bodies would occur in this manner. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching it.